Hey, Jen. I have to wash 2 cups. Hello, popping in for a chat. Need to catch up on the book. Yeah, do it. How far behind are you on the book? It's really good. We've been really enjoying it so far. Hopefully you'll be able to come when the author comes. You know, whenever we get her around and all that. Good morning. Ugh. The last couple chapters have been my favorite. Yeah, they're pretty great. It has been pretty good. I just listened the first day so far. Oh, you gotta listen. It's so good. That was barely getting into the funny of it all. It's gotten so much funnier since then, Jen. So much funnier since then. We've had a lot of good chuckles. Lots and lots of good stuff. I just listened to it. Oh, I already read that. Hey, Liv. Yeah, it's been really fun so far, for sure. Definitely recommend it. Hey, Sloth. Definitely recommend. Right. Let's make our coffee. Let's read our book. Let's have a good day. Let's do some sliming later. All sorts of stuff. Ugh. So, I think I told you guys that when we ordered our crib, the backboard of the crib came split in 5 places, so we couldn't use it. And then they sent us a replacement, and the replacement backboard arrived yesterday, and that piece also is broken, not as badly broken. So Secret Husband is going to try to fix this one so we don't have to get yet another replacement. But my gosh, like 2 for 2. We just do not, I know, isn't that crazy? Like, even though we're going to try to fix it ourselves, I emailed them and I was like, what are we doing here, you guys? The crib is from a place called Da Vinci. No, it's not great. It's not great, Jen. It's not ideal, that's for sure. Is Becca here? I don't know if Becca's here. I haven't seen her. If she is, maybe she is. Maybe she is not. We will see. Morning, Naisa. So yeah, that's annoying. Luckily, it's not like a structural one like last time, but it is still unsightly. And you kind of don't want your baby crib to have like breaks in it. You know what I mean? Like, this is her first bed ever. It should be, you know, not broken, I would imagine. But what do I know? I've never had a baby before. It's not very mindful, and it's not very demure, and it's definitely not cutesy, I'll tell you that much. It is beyond not cutesy. But it's just weird that the same piece broke both times. It's like, maybe you're not shipping it right. You know what I mean? Like, if the same part of the crib is breaking every time you ship it, maybe we have an issue. You know, whether it was shipped with the rest of the crib or by itself, it still broke. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. Yeah, it's a little sus. It's a little sus. Your crib that they just resent is broken too. Yeah, the backboard. They didn't resend a whole new crib. They just resent the backboard, but it's also broken. Yes, now Becca's here. Not the same kind of broken, but still pretty annoying, in my opinion. I am serious, Becca. That is not something I would lie about. Not ideal. Not ideal. Yeah, well, this one isn't structural damage the way the last one was, thankfully, but it's still ugly. Secret Husband's gonna try to fix it, and we'll see. But I still think that's pretty lame, considering we paid for it, you know? It's like, I didn't want to pay for a broken crib. If I had wanted to pay for a broken crib, I would have gotten a used crib. And even some of those aren't broken. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with a used crib. If I had seen one, we looked on Facebook Marketplace, I just didn't see any that I liked. Otherwise, I probably would have gotten one off Facebook Marketplace, but there were none that I liked, that like matched the vibe or whatever. Yeah, it's good that it's not structural this time, but it's not ideal. I can't believe you still have your cribs. That's hilarious, Becca. Oh yeah, no, black crib definitely wouldn't work, unfortunately, for this, although I guess we could paint it. But it is, you know, frustrating, to say the least. It arrived late last night. Teeth marks everywhere. That's funny. Yeah, they turn into toddler beds. Yeah, so did Zoe's, and Ethan's will as well. Ooh, that is yummy. Oh, that's a good cup of coffee. Maybe I just really needed coffee. Yeah. Ethan's crib was actually really easy to put together. I'm pretty sure. I think I had put together Ethan's crib. Zoe is no longer in that bed. She is now in just like a regular bed, because she wanted a big girl room, because the baby sleeps in the crib. Zoe is, I think you did too, because I chuckled about them trusting you to build it. Yes, I think so. Do they stay in their beds? My 5 and 3-year-olds do not. Zoe is 4, and she's actually pretty good about it. I have to say, she may not stay in her bed all night or morning, but she stays in her room. Like, she knows if she wakes up, she has to keep herself entertained and not wake up Ethan. So you can see her on the baby monitor. If she wakes up before him, she just kind of like plays to herself in her room, which I think is a win, you know? And she like waits for someone to come get her. So that's kind of nice. I had to give up the toddler bed when my oldest kept taking it. That's really funny, Jack. I love that your kid's like, I would like to try something new here. Who here, when you were little, were the type, or like younger, were the type of kids that remodeled your room often? I was absolutely the redecorate your room every like 6 months kind of kid. And I don't mean like buy new stuff. I just mean like I was like, now I think I want the bed on the other side. Like stuff like that. I was absolutely that person. They can read or have quiet time. Yeah. He once built a tower to draw on the ceiling with a Sharpie. You got a live one, Jack. You've got a live one. I did all the time looking for the perfect review. Me too, Claire. Okay, so I'm glad I'm not the only one. I was always like rearranging my posters. Yes, Avery. Like even if it was like a little thing, I would just like redecorate with the same stuff. That's really funny, Sloth. And then like, because I was a crafter, sometimes I would make new stuff, but like nothing serious. It did almost feel like a new room, right? Yeah. My favorite was when I would get a new comforter or whatever, like if it was a special time, like starting junior high or starting high school, we would get a new comforter for my bed and it would feel like a whole new room because there was new color in it. Oh my gosh. Or if she would let me go to Pier 1 Imports, which is not the same as Pier 1, and I could get like one of those crazy candles. New comforter was the best feeling, Claire. Like, do you guys remember those bed in a bag things that were really cheap when we were younger? My mom would let me get those for like new special occasions, and I would have all new bedding, and they came with pillows and stuff, so you could have a fancy bed, even though it wasn't a fancy bed. Hilarious. What an easy win for a mom, right? You're like, yeah, you can have a whole new room when it's really just a bag of bedding. And the kids believed you. Pier 1 Imports all the time. I wanted wicker and no idea. I get no clue why. Bed in a bag sets were great, you guys. I missed them. They did the whole thing. They had the pillows, the shams. That's how I learned what a sham was. Even though you think a sham is a bad deal, it's not. It's a type of pillow. Yep. And there's usually ruffles on the edge. Yep. Not always, but usually. And you could get a bed skirt with them sometimes. Then you were really fancy if you had a bed skirt in your bed in a bag. But those bed in a bags with the bed skirts were a little bit more fancy. That's how I learned what a sham was too. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad it wasn't just me. Guys, the 90s are wild. I miss bed in a bag so much easier than it. I know. The problem with getting all the pieces now is finding things that actually look good together. The bed in a bag sets were great. You could find those like 15-piece bed in a bags at Macy's in the like clearance section for like literally $30 and redo your room. I did that all through college. I always got the different colored glasses from there. Yeah. No, it's crazy how things have changed. And now you have to like, do you guys know that it wasn't until I was like 26 or 27 that I realized how much throw pillows cost? Because how do you keep up with your daily reading streak on Kindle? Well, I read every day here on book club for sure, and then I also read to myself every day, but I didn't know I had a daily reading streak on Kindle. Is it something that it will show me? Can I see my daily reading streak? Tell me more about it. You know I love a streak, you guys. Did you see that I hit 1,000 on Duolingo today? I'm big on streaks. Tell me more. Where do I see my streak? Yeah, throw pillows are stupidly expensive, and because I spent my entire young life buying bed in a bag, I did not know how expensive throw pillows were until I was a full adult, like almost 30, and then I went to go buy throw pillows, and I was like, pardon, do you have the Kindle app on your phone? I do not. I see mine on my homepage of my Kindle. Really? Let's go to the homepage. This is the homepage of my Kindle. Milestones and awards? What are you people talking about? I've never heard such things. I do not have milestones or awards on my homepage of my Kindle, you people. Go to the settings menu on your Kindle and look at your reader settings insight and see if you read every day. Okay. Let's see, settings. We're doing this. Home and library settings. Reading options. Here we go. We're doing this right now, you guys. Page refresh. Refresh the display with every page turn. Vocabulary builder. No, I don't want vocabulary builder. Library tabs. Group series, collections, Audible. Am I in the wrong place? Let's pay extraordinary amount of money for pillows to decorate a bed in a bag. I know, bed in a bag was great, you guys. I miss bed in a bag. Device options, maybe this is it. Device info about your Kindle, date and time, language settings, storage, whisper sync, sleep time, power saver, no. Go to your settings menu, there should be a tab called Reading Insights. I'm in settings, and what I see is your account, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, device options, screen and brightness, accessibility, home and library, and help. Maybe there's, no, I don't want to restart anything. No. Okay, let's Okay, I'm in the library. Maybe it's here. This might have to be something I do later. I don't know. I find my streaks on my Kindle app and go to more and hit Kindle Insights. I don't have that. I have like from your library, authors you might know, books you might like, and then if I click on library, it takes me to my collections where I have them all. You can see it for Paperwhite on the app. Okay, so I need to go to the app. Also, if you have a reading app on your phone. Yeah, I don't have the reading app on my phone, so I'll have to get that. I hate reading on my phone, which is why I never downloaded it to my phone, but I can do it. But these are my collections, you guys. Yeah, it might just be for some kind of Kindles. That's okay. Let's go into our currently reading, and we are currently reading. Oh, I didn't put that in currently reading. Well, that's not good. Let's go back to home. I need to add this to currently reading because we are currently reading it. All right, well, anyway, I will check that later. I didn't know that streaks existed for the Kindle. Thank you for that info. You know how I feel about a streak. I am all about it. I will do research into that after this. Are we doing 2 or 3 chapters today? We'll do as many as we can get through before I have to go. I need to organize my books on Kindle because that's where all my crochet patterns are. Yes, yeah, I have all mine organized because I have like arcs, things I'm currently reading, stuff that's finished in different categories, to be read in different genres, all that stuff. I don't read on my phone, but I definitely have it for streaks. Yeah. Makes sense. So we're on chapter 16 today, y'all. We're at 55% in the book, and we are rocking and rolling. Let's see how much we can get through today, and you know, because we want to finish this before I leave. I always keep my Kindle on airplane mode so I don't get streaks. Boo! But you get to keep your library books. That's fair. I usually don't need that. I usually am okay. There's only been one time when a library book expired before I finished it, so I'm usually okay. And that was for book club because we read, you know, daily in book club in a different pace. It takes longer to read things out loud, and obviously we discuss stuff. But anyway, let's read chapter 16 of our book. I excuse myself and follow the sound of the slammed door. It leads me to the huge deck at the back of the house where Hayden sits on the stairs leading out to the backyard, his hands drawn behind his neck, his head bowed. I can't tell if he wants someone around him or not, but the thought of leaving him alone kind of kills me. Hey, Ray, we just barely started, like literally one sentence in. Fantasy books are so long. Fantasy books are really long. The last fantasy book that I read, I think, was the sequel to Fourth Wing, whatever that one is called, and I do not think I'll be reading the 3rd book, you guys. It did not do it for me. I know it ended on a cliffhanger, and I know I should want to know what happens, and I know it's like the most popular thing right now, but that series did not do it for me. Yeah, Iron Flame. And I know a lot of people love it, so this is not against, my sister-in-law loves it, by the by, so this is not against anyone who loves it. I couldn't get there with it. I tried real hard, and I was just like, y'all, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. And it's not because I don't like dragons, obviously. He doesn't say anything as I sit down and I drape a hand along the side of his leg so he knows I'm here. His body tenses, but after a moment he slips his fingers between mine. I'm sorry about that. The words just whoosh out of him. I knew that would happen and stupidly brought you anyway. No, I don't care. I just care that you're okay. No, it's whatever. Years of pain weigh on his shoulders, enough to push him to seek help for it. How many times had I belittled my own pain to spare someone else's feelings? I can't let him do the same. I understand the shame he might feel in showing vulnerability, but I don't know how long it's been since someone's been in Hayden's corner. It's not whatever. Hayden doesn't say anything, but his attempt to conceal how he feels permeates through the air between us. You didn't have to say that. Of course I did. They should know how impressive you are and how much you mean to people. That's way more important than some huge paycheck. And trust me, one day you'll have the huge paycheck too. Okay, so you know how books you don't like seem to drag? Yes, that 100% they drag on forever, Becca. Books you don't like drag on forever. I sometimes struggle to believe we're good enough. That's me with every book. Well, but that's why we read to you, so you don't have to worry about that, Becca.
I sometimes struggle to believe we're good enough to win and get more seasons and worry about how much it'll do to my under construction confidence if we do lose. But for Hayden, I need to be brave. He put his show in the hands of a non-believer and he put his trust in me. I can't show weakness when he needs someone to be strong for him. This show, it feels like one of the last pieces I still have. My dad listened to me brainstorm every episode, helped me craft a good story. I learned everything I know about writing from him, and it gave me something to throw myself into, like after. Yeah, I want him to continue. No one ever had to see me or know when I had bad days, Hayden says. I could take breaks if I needed them, and people would be happy when I came back. Nobody had to see the worst of it. I guess it just made me feel less alone. I didn't feel like there was no one there. He deflates. I felt like people cared without me having to ask for help. I didn't want to burden my mom with my worst days, Abby either. I was trying to be easy and be as good as I could. I was just doing my best to be good enough. I moved down a step and slide myself between his legs, my hands resting on his waist, thumb brushing his belt loops. His eyes are watery again and he looks away from me. Before I met you, I wasn't really looking to believe in anything. And then I saw you on TV that night and I just knew right away you were it. Granted, I was crossfaded and delirious, but finding Hayden one drunken night was never a decision that I could regret. His thumb brushes along the back of my palm and I feel every bit of tension in his body and I desperately want to make it go away. I'm sorry your mom doesn't see how special what you do is, but a lot of other people do. Your dad did. All your fans do. The out there makes a lot of people happy, and that is no small feat. What we're doing matters, and you should know you were the easiest choice I've ever made, I tell him. I hear the words in my head over and over again. He's doing his best, but he needs help. He needed help, and there was no one to do it. I can't let him fall back into old patterns. And look, if you're hurting, it's easy for me to help too. A tear slides down his cheek and he wipes it away in a panic, like I shouldn't have seen it, like asking for any semblance of help would be an inconvenience to me. God, I wish he didn't know this feeling like I do, but it's clear that we are cut from the same cloth. He can't take care of other people if he's busy taking care of himself, so he just doesn't do it. I'm really sorry, he breathes, and I cup the sides of his face, my thumb brushing beneath the frames of his glasses to wipe away the tears. My touch clearly comes as a shock, and his hands press against my arms like he's going to push me away, because this is something that he can't accept. Shh, I say, I promise I don't mind. And then he lets me slide my arms around his shoulders, and his head rests on top of mine. A few warm tears drip into my hair. It only makes me hold him tighter, and I feel like somehow I have to make up for all those years that he needed someone and never had a shoulder to cry on. Hayden's fingers curl around the fabric of my sweater, and he holds on for dear life. It's okay to feel upset if that's how you feel. He holds me so hard that it almost hurt, but he can take whatever he needs from me, anything at all. And when he finally draws away, his damp eyes fog in his glasses, but I help him finish the job of wiping up his tears, and he flinches like he's ashamed that I'm seeing this. Who's been taking care of you this whole time? He chokes out a watery smile, hearing his own words thrown back at him. Me? That's not a whole lot. No, he sighs. It's actually really goddamn lonely. Well, you don't have to feel alone anymore. I don't think it's only him I'm speaking to. Well, I haven't really felt alone since I met you. I try to keep my own eyes from watering, but he struck me so deeply I don't know how to respond. For all the time I spent worrying I was difficult to work with or I was unlikable and irritating, someone's life is better now because I'm in it, and I have no choice but to believe him because he does the same for me. Well, good. No more keeping things bottled up, okay? Whatever you need, I'm here. Hayden cups my cheek and leans in and kisses me the way he hasn't before, slowly and peacefully, like he's falling asleep because for the first time in years he has a soft place to rest his head. I know that he's closed up his heart and run from love for so long, but when I hold him close, he doesn't pull away this time. I don't believe in aliens or ghosts or anything I make my living about right now, but I believe that there's something beautiful between us that makes me feel like for the first time in a while, I know that everything actually will be okay. Hayden sure hasn't smashed my perceptions and beliefs about any of the conspiracy theories, but he has changed whether or not I believe that I could possibly love someone again. Finally, we break away. Hey, I have something for you. I slide away and scurry to my purse, pulling out the tiny plastic bag I brought with me, and I sit beside Hayden again and pass it to him. Is this A joint? I nod. You said you'd never broken the rules. You never got stoned in a shady basement or passed an unhygienic BONG around the room. So while we're busy disappointing your mom, we might as well. His smile grows as I slip it out of the bag and light it. Are you gonna demonstrate for me how to do this? Hayden, it's really not that hard. I'm literally a newbie. Fine. I suck in a puff, and I haven't smoked since the night I discovered him on late night TV, and I don't make a huge habit of it, but I am a solid 5 out of 10 on the stoner knowledge scale, 10 being Nora's parents owning an artisan weed boutique, and I hold a small smoke of mouth, I hold the smoke in my mouth for a moment before exhaling. You want to try and hold it for a few seconds so it takes its effect. Right, he says, and I pass it to him. He takes a hit, hanging on to it, quickly coughing and then exhaling like a pro. Excellent work. Thank you. I try. Good thing I have you with me to make sure I don't do anything crazy. It's weed. It makes you want to sit on the couch and eat Cheetos. We don't have Cheetos. His voice drops like he's been presented with the world's worst news. Or cookie dough. I could really go for cookie dough. You know eating raw cookie dough can give you salmonella, right? That's a conspiracy theory. I lie on the deck next to him and I look up at the stars. Finally, he adds, joining me, a conspiracy you do believe in. We pass the joint back and forth a few times until it hits the bottom and I stamp it out. Well, how do you feel? I ask. My head is floaty, my limbs are light, and I don't feel as cold as I did before, but mostly I'm just hungry and thinking about cookie dough. Somehow I thought colors would look different. I laugh, rolling my eyes. That's LSD, not weed. Next time, it's my own dabble into MK Ultra. I glance over at where Hayden lies next to me on the deck, and the moon glints off his glasses and behind them. His green eyes are bloodshot, a combination of the pot and the tears, but at least now he doesn't seem as self-conscious. I wish there was something I could say to make him understand how I don't mind seeing him be vulnerable, and that I know how tough it is to break down in front of another person. By the time our eyes meet, he's already looking at me as well. The first thought that pops into my head is how lucky I am. Lucky to find him when I did, lucky to have someone who sees me as an equal, lucky that at least I can see that there was something on the other side of Cade, something better. My weed hazy brain wants to tell him that I love everything about him, but I don't. It's too soon. His Adam's apple bombs up and down in his throat as I inch a little closer. My fingers rest at the base of his wrist, feeling for the button on his sleeve. I find it and undo the button and roll his sleeve to the middle of his forearm, where he usually wants to leave them, and I trace the outline of ink along the inside of his forearm, chills rising to his skin under my touch. Dear, I tease. He shakes his head. Not dear. He rolls the other sleeve up and finally looks comfortable in his dressy clothes. When I lie back, I move closer and rest my hand on the sides of his face. His cheeks are rough beneath my touch, but the curves of Hayden's lips are soft and full, and I want to taste the earthy bite. There we go. We got the restriction. You know what's funny about the restrictions that come in? The words that we're saying could be applied to other things. Like the word pot, for example. What if this was cooking? What if we were cooking? You know what I mean? And what if I was talking about the joints in my fingers? Like, you don't know. You don't know. But also, yeah, like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's a bot. It's a bot, Claire, for sure. Because it's happened when there's like just our book club people on. So, you know, like right now, there's only 14 of us here and none of us are doing this. I want to taste the earthy bite of pot still on his breath and hear the sounds he makes as I kiss him. But before I can, the porch lights flicker on and the door opens. Ellen steps onto the deck with us. Ah, crap. Hayden freezes, eyes moving to me slowly like a knocked deer in the headlights, and he sits up. Surely his mom can smell the tinge of weed in the air, and she'll be able to smell it on us any moment. Of course, her son brings home a chick with blue hair and gets caught smoking pot. Though we only did this because he'd never had a burst of adolescent rebellion, and I think he deserves at least one pass. His mom bends down next to him, and she runs her fingers through his dark hair and kisses the top of his head. I half expect him to pull away, but he doesn't. It's a step. Accepting help when he needs it, accepting love when he needs it. His reflexes are a bit slow, but Hayden does lean into his mom when she hugs him tighter, and I can tell by how alone, I can tell that alone how, why can't I read? I can tell by that alone how badly he wants her approval and love. I want to see an episode of this show of yours, she whispers. Well, they're on YouTube. Oh, good Lord. His words are slow, and one look at his bloodshot eyes will give this all away. She offers me a soft smile and rests her head on top of Hayden's. I want you to show me an episode. Hayden looks to me and I think of all our episodes, and I'm proud of them, but I do wonder what episode I feel most prepared to show to my sort of boyfriend's mom. I don't know what will make a better impression. Me explaining that I don't think JFK is the most affable president, or me finding a creepy room in the Winchester Mystery House and proudly declaring it the Sarah Winchester sex dungeon. Either way, I'm not making a great first impression. Ellen smiles. Can I lure you back in with the prospect of some munchies? I can't tell if I'm registering horror or feral hunger in Hayden's eyes. But why would I need munchies? He mumbles. Those are for people who are on drugs, which I'm not on drugs. Jesus, Ellen rolls her eyes. Oh, honey, I was a teenager in the 70s, trust me. Come on in. Finally, Hayden stands and slowly, leaning on me for balance, follows his mom inside. We'll show them the premiere. Ellen and Jeff guide us into the den, which I'm convinced is a room only rich white people have. And when Jeff returns to the den with a small bowl of Cheetos, I decide maybe he's not that bad after all and accept his peace offering. He also offers us an artisan popcorn from their fancy new popcorn maker. I respect how the man is in this for the long haul. I take a seat on one of the leather couches beside Hayden, and I'm not sure how we're playing this just yet, so I keep a reasonable distance from him. And instead, Hayden tugs me closer to him, and I lean against his shoulders. Can you not, do you think? Like, it's Saturday. It's Saturday morning at not even 9 a.m. Like, am I crazy to think that that's wild for a Saturday? It's too loud. Too loud. Anyway, I take a seat on one of the leather couches beside Hayden. I'm not sure how we're playing this yet, so I keep a reasonable distance from him. Instead, Hayden tugs me closer to him and I lean against his shoulders. I'm something he wants close and something he wants, period. There's a lopsided, delirious smile on his face when his fingers lace with mine. Ellen and Jeff look chuffed, and I am too. I know Hayden's clinging to me for comfort, but I'm happy he's willing to ask for it and show me what he needs.
Well, back in the day, Jeff says, it was you get what you get and you don't get upset.
Hayden raises an eyebrow.
What? The weed flavors. Now you kids have all these fun kinds of twists.
Jeff has smoked a weed, I whisper to Hayden. I know, he says a tad too loud. Ellen and Jeff are subjected to 30 minutes of the two of us provoking ghosts, touring hotels, and the 6 clips from 6 different times that Hayden woke up in the middle of the night because a ghost poked him. Each of them chuckles several times, but they do look confused when Hayden goes off on the finer details of ghost hunting. I assure them I am usually confused too. I expect to need harder drugs than weed to get through watching my most embarrassing claim to fame with my sort of boyfriend's parents, but curled up in their cozy den beside Hayden, watching him watch his mom take an interest in what he does for the first time, it's intoxicating enough. When the first episode wraps, Ellen is the one to press play on the next episode. That's very sweet. Okay, we're definitely going to do the next chapter, but sometimes when you get restrictions, it makes them harder to download. So I'm going to close this live and start another one. So if we lose anything, we only lose one chapter, you know what I mean? I don't think we'll lose it, but it's just going to make it like I'm going to have to jump through a couple hoops to download this one, and then we'll go to the next one. So I'm going to click it off, and I'm going to be right back in literally 30 seconds, and we'll read the next chapter.